Hi everyone, welcome again to this session. This time we will talk about two keywords. It is an important aspect as well of learning programming languages, most especially in object-oriented programming languages, to learn about this keyword and static keywords. So in this session, I will focus to you, I will focus two special keywords mostly used with constructors. And these are, again, what we call the this keyword and static keywords. So this lesson will teach you how to be able to use this keyword, and it will also teach you how to be able to use static keywords. You have encountered keywords before, and they are around our source codes, and usually they are highlighted with the color blue. So a keyword is a word that is reserved by a program because the word has a special meaning. So all programming languages, such as Java and C Sharp, have their own keywords. Along the way, you have been programming with Java already, and you for sure have seen some common examples of keywords, and these are public, int, class, and new. We have discussed that the word public is an access modifier, an access specifier. That means our class is public, and it means other classes, other files will be able to access it. That's why we are able to come up with one result using two Java files. Int keyword is used for data types that will hold values, integers. Class, of course, is a keyword that is necessary each time we want to create a new file or a new Java file. And the new keyword is the keyword which we use each time we instantiate objects. Now, since keywords are reserved words, you will not be able to use them for personal use. Otherwise, you will encounter an error. So, for example, we cannot use the word public and make it a variable name. So, we cannot say int public because int and public, or the word public per se, is already a keyword, meaning it is taken by the programming language and it has already a specific purpose. So again, that means you will not be able to use it for any personal use. So you have already programmed sample codes using constructors, and by this time you should already know what parameters and arguments are. And you have learned also that there must be, or two variables having the same name must not be present in our program, uh, especially if the other variable is a global variable. Unless both variables are local, then two variable names having the same name is allowed. But generally, no two variables must exist in our program having the same name. So you have a table shown on your screens right now showing you differences of showing the this keyword and the difference of not using uh, the this keyword. So this keyword is as keyword that refers to the current objects in a method or a constructor. So meaning we can use the this keyword to mean or to refer to the current object or current method or the instance attribute of our file. I will demonstrate it to you later for clarity purposes. So the most common use of the this keyword is to eliminate the confusion between attributes and parameters with the same name within a constructor. Again, the most common use of the this keyword is to eliminate the confusion between attributes and parameters with the same name. I have mentioned a while ago, there should be no two variable names having the same name that exists in our program. That is a general rule of thumb. However, there are times when we design parameters, and and since you have learned from the previous lesson that when setting up our parameters, we usually think of another variable name. Sometimes it gets confusing. So to address this concern, or to address this issue, why not use the same variable name in the parameter as with the variable name in our class variables? So as you can see on the table on the left side, we have attributes name, student number, and course. And so we have a constructor here. For the variable name, we created another variable different having different name. So in this case, we use sname for receiving values to be given to the variable name, as you can see on this statement. We also have snumber to receive values for the student number. And then we also have course, scores, to receive the value for the course. For a parameter that consists of only three variables, this is fine. However, as our program grows and grows and grows, sometimes it gets confusing. So why not simplify this and instead use the same variable name to pass a value to the attribute, such as name, student number, and course. So as you can see on the right corner of the table, we have achieved this. We no longer have to think of another variable name as name in this case, and instead we just simply use the name, which is or having the same name with the attribute name. However, to avoid confusion inside our Java, because again the general rule is no two variables having the same name must exist, we need to be able to use this keyword. And so this is why on this corner we said this dot name. So the meaning of this part, this dot name, simply means we are referring to the instance variable name. Okay? Again, using the this keyword, this dot name on this corner, we mean we are referring to the class attribute or to the instance variable. Again, class attribute and instance variable mean the same thing. Okay? So we mean this dot name as this variable, string name. And we mean name here as this parameter, name. So whatever value we put on this parameter will be transferred to variable name on this class. So this is name variable owned by the class, and this is name variable owned by the constructor. Okay, so to demonstrate that, let us create a program that will show the effect of using this keyword. I'm gonna name this student, okay, and fill it up with attributes, string, ID number, okay, string name, string course. And we also have behavior, let's say enroll subject. And let's put some parameter. What particular subject are we trying to enroll? And let's have drop subject. and subject. Again, in this case, subject and subject have the same name. However, these are both local variables, so they are completely allowed. Now let's put a statement here. Let's say you enrolled, then let's call the subject, and you dropped subject. Okay. Now that we are through with our attributes and with our behaviors, let's now put our constructor. So we say student. Okay. Without using this keyword, we have to think of another, as discussed, variable name. So we say is ID number, just to make sure that they are not the same. As ID number, ID number. But then again, this might be confusing along the way, especially if our program grows or becomes broader and bigger. So the solution is to just simply use the same name with this one. The thing is, although this is a local variable here because it is a parameter, it has the same name with a global variable here. So this might cause a conflict. Okay, that's why we need to use this keyword. So we can just copy this one, okay, and put it this way. Next thing that you need to do is refer to this variable, and you put this keyword ID number equals the parameter ID number. Okay, and then end it with a semicolon. Same process goes with name and name. Lastly, the course, and then the course. So in this case, you no longer have to make an effort of thinking of a different variable name that does not exist within any of the declared global variables. You can just simply copy and use the same variable name, except that, of course, you need to make sure that no confusion will exist each time we run the program. That's why we need to use the this keyword. Okay, so when we create the main class, okay, student name, public, static, void name, okay, and let's instantiate the objects. So student one equals new student. Since we have a parameter set of parameter in our constructors, you can just copy that for your guide so you won't be lost along the way. Of course, ID number is asked first, so provide it first. And then the next is name. And then the next is course. Let's copy this one to save time and then create a new object. Okay, 156 and master. And then let's say PSA. This will now, let's hope that it will run. Okay, wrong spelling wrong. Make sure that everything is spelled out correctly. Some letters are missing on some parts of our code, so double check it. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we are now clear with our source code. So let's now uh, use the behaviors. Let's say S1 is trying to enroll subject. Why is it not working? Let's say English. Okay, and let's say S2 dropped a subject. Can we say uh, oh, yeah. So our source code worked, and the main highlight of this part of the code is to make sure that this keyword is focused and properly explained. I hope the discussion is clear. In a nutshell, we simply use this keyword to mean that we are referring to the class variables so that it won't make any confusion with the parameters which are named with the same name as with the class variables.